What is up, everybody? Joe Quills here with you with another edition of the Joe Quills Show, a Thursday night edition, a Sorry Honey, It's Thursday edition. And, trying to keep it PG-13. Otherwise, I would tell you the joke about the Sorry Honey, It's Thursday. But hope everybody's having a great week out there. Me, I survived day one of 6 days in a row work. I had off yesterday. Uh, Wearing the penny pack shirt from a few years ago. Went there Wednesday night, last night. It was a great show. Um, and just fixing things up here. There we go. We're all set. We got the scroll going and everything here. So, going to be a short stream tonight. At least I think it's going to be short. Got a couple of stories here, as you can see below. Um, excuse me. Dan Hurley is rumored to be um, having conversations right now. We got the Utah hockey team, the artist formerly known as the Arizona Coyotes. We'll go through those names, and Big Dom has a new title apparently. So we'll get to that, and if anybody comes up with anything, feel free to join something here. Uh, Sorry, I'm just posting something here and I'm trying to find something and somebody posted something funny on a reply. Um, but anyways, summer has arrived and been running the air conditioner all day, feeling good. And if I can find what I'm looking for here, because I'm an idiot sometimes. There we go. So we're all set for that last part. So the one part. So okay. So, anyways, let's get to it here. Right now, it's all Boston, 44-26 in game one of the NBA Finals. Kind of expected that, truthfully, in terms of game one, only because. Was that, oops, I can get rid of that. Um, but, Dallas has not been here in a long time. I think it's 13 years. Whereas Boston has been here 2 years ago, and they've been in the Final Four the last 3 years. You really um, gotta admit that they are the dominant team in the Eastern Conference over the last 3 years. And even though they lost to Miami last year, you can't deny how great they've been over the last 3 years. Dallas, even though they got Kyrie Irving, Um, you kind of figure, hey, deer in headlights type situation here. So I wouldn't be surprised if game one is a blowout and Dallas wins game two. But that's the way it is right now. And I'll try to keep an eye on the scores here. That's why I'm not in my spot that I've been earlier this week. I'm actually in the dining room of my apartment, my 550 square foot palace or dump, depending on if you were to see the mess that I have here from me throwing stuff out and redoing everything. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a blowout and you go from there. So, anyways, looking at everything here right now, you know, it is what it is. So let's get to it here with the what I wanted to cover here tonight. Um, just a reminder, I'm here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 o'clock. Try to go 9 to 11, but the good thing is because um, I don't have any restrictions or hard outs or anything like that. I could go 9 to 12 if I want to, or if I run out of material at 10:15, we're done at 10:15. So, um, so this is an open-ended conversation, and we'll see. But the big news that I woke up to this morning and literally woke me up because, um, you know, your boy had to pee this morning. woke up to an ESPN alert that the Lakers are talking to Danny Hurley. And I'll give you some additional thoughts at the end here, but I'll give you some of the framework here of everything that's going on. Um, Danny Hurley, um, let me find, there we go. So the Lakers are targeting Danny Hurley. I'm sorry, Dan Hurley. Danny, whatever. I should call him Dan because he's actually older than me. Um, as the franchise's next coach as they prepare a massive long-term contract offer to bring the back-to-back national NCAA national champion to the NBA. Now, a lot of times you don't have um, the NCAA coaches do not do well in the NBA. I mean, there's exceptions to the rule. Larry Brown, he's bounced back and forth. He bounced back and forth between the NBA and college. Um, he never he never missed a interview for another job, but um, this was a bit surprising because it came out of left field, at least to us, the general public. But um, but they had preliminary contacts sometime in the recent past. How recent, I don't know, but they're going to escalate discussions in the coming days. Um, Now, it does say here that Hurley has been at the forefront of the Lakers search from the beginning of the process. They've done their due diligence interviewing several other candidates as well. And why not? I mean, you can't just interview one person and boom, you have a head coach. You gotta you gotta get the feel because you never know what happens. I mean, because this is the 20th anniversary of Coach K being courted by the Lakers, and if you remember, Coach K went back to Duke. I don't know how serious that was because it was so long ago, but the fact that this came out of nowhere, I think that things are starting to get pretty serious here. Um, they did interview such people as JJ Redick. Um, um, Let me find the names here. JJ Redick, James Borrego, the Pelicans assistant, Boston Celtics assistant Sam Cassell, and Denver's Nuggets assistant David Adelman. So they've done the interview process. Now, whether that's just window dressing to trying to get Dan Hurley. Now, the one thing is, if you don't contact Dan Hurley, the answer is 100% no, because guess what? You will never know if he's going to be the head coach or not. I mean, he won't be the head coach if you don't interview him. And you will, I mean, it's always good to kick the tires because if you don't kick the tires, you'll never know. So the fact that um, the fact that he is drawing interest from the Lakers is both a surprise and not a surprise. Um, it is a surprise because Dan Hurley did say that his wife is an East Coast person. So obviously, what the wife wants, the wife gets usually. But you gotta do what's best for yourself and your family and everything else, not just for you. And maybe this is his dream job. You never know. But you're bringing in a guy who's won back-to-back national championships and back-to-back national championships in dominating fashion. I mean, they've won 12 straight tournament games by double digits. Never been done before. And you just and also with the fact that you wonder, even though you know, even though he has won two national championship, maybe the itch is there to go to the pros. Who knows? And maybe this is his one chance to do so when his stock will never be higher. That's one thing you have to remember. I mean, he could be, he could go 2-30. Next thing you know, nobody wants him. Not even UConn. I mean, UConn's not going 2-30 anytime soon, but you get the idea. But you know, and the one thing I would say, and this is definitely something. If I was a UConn alum, maybe I would be pissed. Because he said in April, you know, we won two in a row. Why not go for three or whatever his words were? You know, that was the general idea. But but truthfully, as a sports fan outside of the Connecticut area, if you heard what he said in April and he does take this job, you can't hold it against him, can you? Because think about it. At that time, even though it was rumored that Darvin Ham uh, was going to be kicked to the curb, you know, it's all it's all um, um, you know he didn't say it just for the sake of you know getting the fans' hopes up for three in a row. Things happen, and you know even though we knew that Darvin Ham was going to get fired at the end of the year, you don't. I mean, you can't project that because crazier things have happened. I mean, you could have a coach fired at halftime. You know, I mean, you could have a coach fired right away. I mean, look at Jorge Lopez last week or 2 weeks ago. He acts up. He's kicked out. He's kicked off the team basically. You know that. I mean, decisions can be made like that. Things can change like that, and you basically got to realize that things change over the course of 24 hours or 24 days or 24 weeks or however many days it was. But since I was saying 24 hours, I was running with the 24. You really can't fault him for at least going through the interview process. You can't fault him. And I don't fault him one bit. And also, the landscape of 20 years ago in college basketball is so much different. Now you have NIL, you got everything to do with money and the players having more say and stuff like that. I mean, look at some of the coaches that have retired over the last couple of years. Jay Wright retired. Coach K. Now, Coach K, you could say was more aged than anything else. Um, and there's other coaches as well that are escaping me right now. But now you have to do so much more as a coach because now you have to worry about NIL. You got to worry about that. You got to worry about all these other variables that weren't there 5 years ago, let alone 20 years ago when Coach K was being courted by the Lakers. Now, I wouldn't be surprised either way. You know, maybe he wants a new challenge. Maybe he realizes, hey, I may never get this chance again. And if he fails with the Lakers, or LeBron gets him fired in a year, if he's still there, I think he will if Dan Hurley stays. You could very well see Dan Hurley back in college, or he may have a 20-year NBA coaching career where he wins three, four, five, six titles. You never know. And if you stay in college, You may win a couple more titles, but guess what? You'll never win an NBA title if you're coaching college. But it is very interesting that this came up out of nowhere because there wasn't any rumors of this going on. All the rumors were JJ Redick. I mean, those other names I mentioned, I didn't even know that they interviewed for the job. And I'm mostly an outsider when it comes to to the NBA. I mean, now granted, I have my eye on the game one of the NBA Finals tonight, but I don't feel like um, I don't feel like that it would be a surprise either way. And I caught an interview on the Dan Patrick Show. Actually, I found it on YouTube because I was trying to find something to watch while I was working. And while I was doing something, I ended up looking at YouTube. I was like, Gino Auriemma with Dan Patrick. And I'm not going to pull up the video because I have to figure out the sound from that sound issue I had on Monday night. That's a me issue. Um, it's just that I haven't had time to do much. But when I saw that interview today while I was working, um, Gino Auriemma made a comment about the Lakers, and Dan Hurley just nodded his head. Now, Gino Auriemma had no knowledge of what Dan Hurley was doing. Because Gino Auriemma has his own thing to worry about. But wherever they were at, they were talking, and they made that statement. He made that statement, and then the next morning, you wake up to that news. You know, Gino Auriemma, you know, might have that sixth sense. And he's been in college basketball for 35, 40 years as well. And I'm sure he's been courted by a couple of teams, even though the transition from women's college basketball to whatever would be even harder. Which not only are you going from college to pro, you're also going from female to male if it's the NBA. But they did interview several coaches. It seems like they're the guy. That's the guy they want. And a lot of times with the Lakers, what they want, they get in terms of coaching. Um, Now, Rob Pelinka, who's the vice president of basketball operations and GM, and the governor, Jeannie Buss, not the governor of California, the governor of the Lakers, they're eager to formally discuss with Hurley their vision of marrying his dominant program, built upon tactical acumen and his elite player development, with the storied Lakers brand. And this could be a match made in heaven. This could be something that just blows up in their face. You never know. But I think that you will. I mean, I'm interested in seeing what he can do in the NBA. But I think that you have to, at the very least, go through the interview process. Now, one thing that I can tell you, even though, um, I wasn't looking to change jobs, and one of my friends from Drexel and I went to the um, Baseball Diversity Summit when it was out in Phoenix. And I had an impromptu meeting with the interview with the Phillies. And I said, I apologize that, I don't have a resume on me because person that we crossed paths with there said, oh, you got to redo this whole thing. Yeah, no problem. The fact that you look at resumes all the time, I appreciate that. But going back to that interview, um, you know, more than anything else, for me, it was to get a feel of what they or what a interview process is, because I mean, I'm at my job 25 years now, you know, and in some ways, interview processes stay the same, and in some ways, they're different. I mean, back when I got it at my company, and I will not disclose that company because, you know, if I say something wrong, if I say something, you can clip it down into 5 seconds, and oh, no context, and next thing you know, I'm in trouble because of an out of context clip. Then I have to go through HR and say, hey, here's the whole clip. It had nothing to do with this company. Here's the whole clip. If you're going to fire me over that, I'll lawyer up. But, you know, back in 1999, you know, we didn't have social media. So we don't have bosses, managers, HR looking for you on Twitter, on Facebook, for the ladies, OnlyFans, whatever. You know, and I said to the guy, I appreciate this interview because it's the first interview I had in 18 years. Because, you got to realize that, sometimes it's good to take an interview even when you know that you're not going to get hired. Now, in Dan Hurley's case, he could probably be hired tomorrow if he really wanted to, depending on when they meet, whatever. But I would think that they won't do any. Um, I don't think that they would do um, any sort of a hiring announcement until after the finals, because I wonder if the NBA says, "Hey, chill out on the hiring of coaches news. If you want to hire them, but don't announce until after the finals." Maybe that will happen. I don't know, but either way, um, you know, if it was another job that was open, and I don't remember the jobs that were open in the NBA this year that came up after the regular season ended. You know, let's say the Lakers were not in play at all. Go through the interview process. Thank you very much. Let me think about it, and then you say, you know what, I want to stay at UConn. I could, but sometimes it's good to have that experience. And in my case, I got to do an interview for the first time in 18 years when that occurred. In this case, you know, you got a holy grail type job here. You got one of the two storied franchises in the NBA. And now, granted, if you think about it, the Lakers job comes up a little bit too much, in my opinion. And maybe you can blame it on LeBron. Maybe you can blame it on the past that they've, won a gazillion titles. All right, 17, but you get the idea. Um, you know, maybe because they've won so many titles that, you know what, we want more gold. We want more trophies. We want more rings. This guy ain't cutting it. Gone. But whatever you think, you have to realize that the Lakers are one of the two jobs that every coach wants. And if Danny wants it, I pretty much can guarantee if all five of those coaches said, "Hey, I want this job," I guarantee you they'll tell the other four guys "F off" in a professional manner, and they will tell Dan Hurley, "Come on out to LA, officially sign this contract, and we'll get you going here." That's all you got to do, in my opinion. Even though I'm not, you know, what they do, is probably so different from what I'm selling to you guys. But I'll tell you what, it's basically, in my opinion, right now, from what it looks right now, it looks like it's going to be Hurley's job to say yes or no to. And maybe the pull from his players at UConn will say, no, I got to stay here. But how many times does a job like this come up? And that's probably why Coach K listened to the Lakers 20 years ago, because that job is a one of the top jobs in the league. But whatever it is, I mean, maybe you get LeBron James to come back. I mean, he's impressed with Hurley's sophisticated offensive actions. Um, James posted on Twitter about Hurley. He's so damn good, along with his staff, super creative with their offense. Love it. You know, and that may be an endorsement, or um, um, now James has not had any conversations with the Lakers about Hurley or Riddick or any of the other coaches. Um, um, but the Lakers have committed to making All NBA forward Anthony Davis a significant part of the conversation on the next head coach, because you know LeBron may retire in a year. Anthony Davis may be there for another 5, 10 years. Who knows? Even though he does get hurt every 3 weeks, but be interesting to see. Personally, I say he takes it, but we will find out in the coming days and weeks. Because you figure you got to get somebody in place quickly, because of the fact that the um, you do have the lottery the NBA draft in a couple of weeks, and obviously you want to have your coaches in place. So, but the fact that they haven't hired a coach probably tells me that they've been probably talking informally with Dan Hurley for weeks, and maybe even since the moment they hired Darvin Ham. And welcome in everyone once again. You're watching Joe Quill Show. We're here every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday right now. Um, we start at 9 p.m. We started a few minutes late tonight. I'm a little out of whack tonight, but that's not much different from any other night. But there you see it. I streamed to Twitch, X, and to YouTube. Um, Yeah, X. I don't have the chat going because I refuse to pay Elon for anything with that site. But if you always want to interact with me, the best way is either Twitch or YouTube, and it's at Joe Quills everywhere. Um, so let's get to the next part here. And I saw this earlier today. I won't say what I was doing. Um, but it involved looking at my phone. We saw today. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. I'm still learning this stuff, people. All right, so add a scene. No, hold on. I'm drawing a. Ah, here it is. Duh. So, so there you go. You do see here. Um, you do see the finalists for the Utah hockey team name, the artist formerly known as the Arizona Coyotes. Um, The six finalists are the Utah Blizzard, the Utah Hockey Club, the Utah Mammoth, the Utah Outlaws, the Utah Venom, and the Utah Yeti. Now, the Venom, no, I don't like that name, because are there as many snakes in the Salt Lake City area as there would be down in the southern portions of it where it's warmer and got more of a desert heat down there in that area? The Outlaws, that's an interesting name. Mammoth, I guess you could work um, guess you can work a monster for a logo and a mascot. The Blizzard, does it really snow in Utah anymore? Um, but the name that I would like to see is the Utah Hockey Club. And I know what you're saying. Come on, Joe. That's too generic. Well, let me say this. Even though the Washington Commanders, they're a rival of my Philadelphia Eagles, I love the name Washington football team. And the reason why I say that is because it broke the mold in professional sports in the United States or North America. Um, Now, granted, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's too much like soccer. We don't like soccer here in America. Go with a nickname." Well, here's the thing: Blizzard, Mammoth, Outlaws, Venom, Yeti. Why are those five names there? Other than the fact that they had a individual vote or whatever they did. Why are those five names there? Because of copyright and trademark infringements. If you go with Utah Hockey Club, you won't have to worry about copyrights or anything like that. But then again, even if you go back to, and if you want to go back to Wikipedia, or actually Google MLB timeline, and you can see the history of Major League Baseball year over year, and you will see the different names that come up. You will see, um, you know, the Philadelphia Phillies were originally the Philadelphia Quakers. The Pittsburgh Pirates were originally the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. Um, uh, you know, the Atlanta Braves, when they were originally in Boston, they were originally the Red Caps. They were named when they were in the National Association in 1871. There was a name for that as well. But but a lot of the nicknames before 1900 were just random nicknames that writers gave to describe the team. You had uh, the Providence Grays in the early years of National League Baseball. They were called the Grays because that's something that they described the team. You could have a million different things there. So I don't know how you feel, and this may even be something that comes back up on Monday, but those are the six names. And personally, I would love to see Utah Hockey Club because I think we can break the mold of locality nickname. You know, at least it's not the Utah Jazz, for example. You know, I'm sure that there's a couple of jazz clubs in Utah, but the only reason why that they're the Utah Jazz is because that team originated in New Orleans. The Memphis Grizzlies, They're only the Grizzlies because they started in Vancouver, and probably called the Grizzlies in Vancouver because um, Whistler, I think's the resort near there, probably because of a reference to that, you know. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see, um, you know, you're going to get a name here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Blizzard because nobody's used Blizzard. Outlaws, hmm, Yeti, probably that will win because of the fact that probably make a story up about how these Yeti would be roaming around the mountains of Utah. Who knows? But personally, I'd love to see Utah Hockey Club since no one liked my name, the Storm and Mormons. But whatever. But it is an interesting thing here, and hopefully we will um, see more. We'll get a decision there, but I'm hoping for the hockey club. So, um, but I'll keep you up to date with that as well. Got some football news here that I saw tonight, and it's not that big of a deal, but it does involve Big Dom, the former the guy with the Eagles who um, got suspended because of the Niner taking a swing at him. You know, because oh my God, somebody's trying to stop somebody from fighting. But Big Dom DeSandro, he is he's got a new title. He is now in charge of game day coaching operations, according to Jeff McLean of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Um, he was previously the senior advisor to the general manager and chief security officer. So his role in charge of game day operations is an add-on to his current role with the franchise. His new responsibilities, according to McLean, involve overseeing head coach Nick Sirianni's assistants on game day. This new title will also make it more difficult for the NFL to discipline him directly if there's another sideline mishap in the future. Um, if you remember, he got into an altercation with Dre Greenlaw, and karma's a bitch because he tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. Um, Let me just check one thing here. Just make sure that he's the guy that I'm thinking of. And you don't wish bad things, but um, yeah, he did. Yeah, he was the. Yeah, he did tear his Achilles in the Super Bowl when he was jumping around going onto the field. So, um, but seriously though, Dom DeSandro has a new title, which basically, it's just added stuff to put on your business card, basically to me. I mean, at least it seems like that to me. But um, if you remember, he got into an altercation with Greenlaw in Week 13 when the Niners were in Philly. He got a suspension from the NFL that barred him from the sidelines for the rest of the season, which was a total bullshit decision by the NFL. Um, so safe to say it's water under the bridge within the Eagles organization. So expect to see much more of DeSandro this fall when the team takes a field. And truthfully, I mean, it is looking like it's just um, a made up title, just so that he looks more official and more on the coaching staff than just security. But you know, um, he shouldn't have been suspended. It was a bad move, and we'll see what goes on with that. So, So those are the three stories that I have for you for tonight here. The three topics I wanted to talk about here. Right now, they just started the second half, 63-44 Boston over Dallas. Um, it's looking like it's going to be an ugly finish here. Um, so just want to catch you up here on things this weekend. Um, my Quills Picks winners articles tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday are all going to be races from Saratoga. Uh, Belmont this week, the Belmont races are running at Saratoga. The Belmont Stakes is Saturday. We got 9 horses running. I don't think there is any major changes right now. Let me just take a quick look there. Um, no, I apologize for yawning there. Um, Tomorrow's race, I believe, is the Acorn, which is Torpedo Anna, who was rumored to be running into Belmont. She's running in the Acorn against Just FYI. That should be a huge matchup there. Saturday is um, Saturday is the Belmont from Saratoga. They got 14 races on the card, and also on Saturday, weather permitting. And I got to do some research for Saturday. The unofficial horse of Bleacher Brothers, our adopted horse, Uncle Ernie, is running in the 7th race of Parks. It's a PA bred race going 7 furlongs. Uncle Ernie is the second choice at 7-2. And basically, with Uncle Ernie, it's a matter of can he get the lead. If he gets the lead, he does not give it up. So, so and the Saturday races will be on my show, also eligible, which is exclusively on the Bleacher Brothers network and different streaming platforms that they use. They use Facebook, they use X, they use Twitch, they use YouTube. They use a couple more. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but um, you get to see yours truly, hopefully captivated enough to put words together so I can give you some picks for the weekend. So, um, but it's looking like it's going to be a fun weekend of racing, and no Triple Crown on the line because Mystic Dan won the Derby. Seize the Gray won the Belmont, won the Preakness. Um, I haven't even looked at the race yet for Saturday. I'm going to look at it starting tonight, and we'll see if I can give you guys a winner because I'm due to hit a long shot. I can't even get an even money favorite home like earlier today, but it's all good. Um, so like I said, this was just a quick stream, and I do appreciate everybody coming in. X has been blowing up. I might even actually have to pay that putts Elon and get a check mark or whatever. I might have to consult AJ Saturday morning before the show. It's like, oh, by the way, what do you have to do to get them to talk? What level do we go to? So, um, but we'll be ready to go Saturday morning, 10 a.m. And my show on my channel here will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and we will add Wednesdays probably mid-July. So keep an eye out on that as well. All my socials are at Joe Quills, and I do appreciate everybody who took the time to watch and listen to this here, especially on X, because I see like 9-10 people listening on there, and I do appreciate everybody there, and I do apologize that I'm clueless and don't have um, any clue of who's watching that. So, but I do appreciate everybody, and might actually have to get that check mark. So, but anyways, do want to thank everybody. And quick stream, just wanted to touch base. Uh, you know, Penny Pack was great last night with Street Survivors, which is a um, Leonard Skinner tribute band, and Crystal Ship is at Penny Pack this Wednesday, which is a um, um, the Doors tribute band. So I'll be out there Wednesday, and I'll be live Saturday. I'll be live again on Monday. So that's going to be it for now. Short stream, and I will catch you Saturday on Also Eligible on the Bleacher Brothers account, and I will catch you Monday right here for another edition of the Joe Quill Show. Good night, everybody.